My name's Ed Hemscott, and I'm the Director of Information Services.
Great. And can you tell me a little bit about your role here? I know it's not on here, so don't get thrown off.
My role at the hospital basically is I'm in charge of all of the information services, which include any networking, application work, interface work, and also the telephone system.
So what were some of your challenges before you hired Wade TSI?
Well, with technology demands in healthcare these days, it's essential that you have a robust and very sophisticated network. And I think the challenge that we have, and especially in a smaller hospital, is having the resources and the expertise to be able to implement and run those networks. I mean, you know, all of our all of our um, all of our demands increase. We have a lot of requests, and we just need the people to be able to manage the new technologies and make sure they're implemented.
So how did you find out about Wade?
Worked with one of the principals, Chris Witt, for quite a while when he was at a different company, and when he formed Wake Technologies, we knew enough about Chris and his partner to take a chance on that.
Can you and is any of this revolving around the move?
Yes, and that's part of the reasons why right now we're not doing a whole lot of projects. But right now, I think this is part of the benefit that Wake gives us. They understand the situation we're in. We are merging with another healthcare institution and building a new hospital for us, and we'll be moving in there. Um, a lot of companies would just say goodbye to us, but Wake's still there. They're still helping us, and still trying. They understand what we need to do in the year before we go, and they're helping us do
Anything
it.
that they've identified that has been possibly out of the scope of the initial agreement of work that you've seen from them?
Yeah, again, as we're going through this, again, both institutions are new at this, so we don't know of all the things that need to be done. And I think, again, Wake has been in this situation before. They've been in institutions that have merged, and they've been very helpful in noticing things that we may want to do or may want to take notice of and pursue.
Examples?
There's a couple things with, for example, when we were thinking about the network, we had the idea that, oh yes, we're just going to move our network, over to a new hospital and whatever else. And when Chris Witt was in here one day, he said, well, what about our physician office building? Are there going to people remain there? We were like, yeah, there's going to be people still there. We're going to still have to provide network services to them. So it was kind of those types of things, things that we really didn't think of, and he's brought it to our attention.
Can you discuss at all the value of Wake services to Montgomery Hospital and to your future endeavors?
Yeah, the value really, I think, comes in a lot in their service. Again, they know the hospital, they're part of the hospital, and I think maybe I can relate a little story that would show the value. About 4 or 5 years ago, it was on Christmas, I got a call that our network was down. And we had all hands on deck, all the department was in trying to figure out what the issue was. And we were at our wits' end. We had nowhere to go. And the last thing we had was to call Wake. Certainly hesitant to do that, but when I called Chris Wood at Wake, he was sitting down at Christmas dinner with his family, and without hesitation he said, I'll be right in. I have to correct that. He did say he wanted to finish his apple pie. So, but he came in, and within an hour he had diagnosed the problem, and he stayed with us while we fixed the problem and while we made sure that everybody was up and running. He didn't leave until he was assured that everyone was back up and running. So that's the type of value that we see from Wake. Not every company would do that, and I have to mention at that time we didn't have a service contract with them. We didn't have any financial commitment that he needed to do this, and quite frankly, because of budgetary constraints, we hadn't used them all that often during that period of time. But again, he was right there, no hesitation, came in on Christmas and helped us.
How did you get into how they explain and educate your team?
Again, one of the things that we really like about Wake is that they don't just come in and do things, as I mentioned. They will come in and they will show us how to do things. They'll teach our staff some of the new technology. They'll teach our staff how to set up things, how to implement things, so that in the future we can service them. Sometimes we do get in trouble and we'll call wake, but their goal is to, when we're implementing something or when they're fixing something, is to make sure that we understand what they did, how they did it, so that next time we can